снимай.
Я все снял.
Добрий день, я
Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody who joined us. Ukraine Media Center Ukrinform continues its operation. It's day 265 of the heroic resistance of Ukrainian people, and we will talk about the situation in Zaporizhzhia region. Joining us now is Oleksandr Starukh, military governor of Zaporizhzhia region. Mr. Oleksandr, good afternoon. Good afternoon, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Mr. Oleksandr, we know that in the night the occupiers inflicted a strike in Zaporizhzhia region. Again, what are the consequences? How the last night passed? The night is quite typical. The enemy is a little bit more active. There were 118 shellings, a bit more than the last day, and out of them 56 on the civil infrastructure of our villages and towns in our community. One person died, unfortunately, due to these barbaric shellings. Dozens of facilities and civil areas are destroyed. In the night there was a massive strike in one of the community near the regional center, thanks God, with no casualties. They only hit the earth. The people are continued to evacuate from the area. These non-people let out 242 people. It's worse than previously, where about 1,500 people could leave. But now, out of those who left, it's 41 child. Everybody arrived to Zaporizhzhia. We accepted everybody, and so it will be up to them who will stay and who will go further. In average, about 800 to 900 people evacuate from the region on a daily basis. For example, yesterday 804 people left out of the region to the safer area. So you mean 242 people left from the occupied territories? Yes, and out of them 41 child. Was the situation with the critical infrastructure in that part of the region which is under Ukrainian control, and was the story with the heating season? Well, the rockets are in the air now, so in 1 hour we will understand what's going on with the infrastructure. At this moment we have heating, we have power supply. Everybody limited their power supply to comply with the norms and rules existing, which are in effect today. We have the schedules of rolling power shutdowns, but they're not being used because people and businesses limit the consumption to a substantial extent to keep within the limits that allow them to operate normally. Well, the consumption increases on a daily basis, but the more we do, and we still see more white spots for example, with re-establishing internet and communication. We have problems with accumulators, generators, which are not yet supplied. For example, the batteries suffice only for 2 hours instead of 5, but we keep on working on that, taking relevant resolution and taking relevant measures to implement improvements in those areas. In the same manner, in the regions we prepare to the winter season, the communities procure woods which were funded previously, and respectively we keep improving the conditions for staying in the shelters. We revise the conditions on a permanent basis, and we keep implementing these changes related to improvement of those conditions. And as to the part of the region which is currently under occupation after liberation of our Kherson, do you observe more presence of the occupiers' troops in that part of the region? Well, yeah, obviously they have nowhere more to live. They left towards the Tokmak, the next direction, Melitopol. the concentration increases because it's like the connected vessels. You know the law of physics. If they decrease somewhere, so their number increases in another sites, so they move their troops specifically to Donbass. As to the explosion in Melitopol, there is information about the strike on the concentration of the enemy forces. We had rumors about our guerrillas working. Do you have any information about our resistance forces there? Well, we announced the information related to any warfare operations only after it's been officially announced by the General Staff, but believe me, there are explosions on a daily basis in Melitopol, Berdyansk and Tokmak. Something hits, something targets them, something explodes there, and this becomes less. People keep on doing their work, and we wish them success to stay safe and sane, and to make the occupiers' life more complicated. What's the most recent information from Energodon and Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant? Any news from there? Well, the power plant is out of operation. The Russians don't allow it to be reconnected. We know that it depends, the heating supply depends on the operation of the station. Even at least one of the blocks should operate to have the city heated, but it works on idle now, so the situation remains difficult there. The river banks are mined, and under the cover of the power plant, the Russians keep shelling the neighboring regions, the Dnipropetrovsk region in Marhanets, and lately the occupiers don't even let the volunteers or shipments of any cargo through for the people, any medical supplies which people try to send over there, but even that is stopped for the time being. That is restricted for the time being, which is specifically difficult for the people who are sick. Well, the situation is complicated. We have questions in our studio. Thank you, Irina Mamshur, Ukrinform. Do you know any news about the children who were forcibly deported from Kamenka and Enerhodar to Russian Federation for sanatoriums, and they were not returned to their parents? And do you have any news about the imprisoned Mayor Dniprorudny and the first deputy mayor of Enerhodar? They are being kept hostages, both Matveyev and Ivan Samayduk. They are being kept hostages. There is information about them that they are alive, but we understand that since March they are still kept hostages in very difficult conditions. As to the children, I know that some people like making some loud announcements in vain, but the community authorities, they solve all the issues related to adopting the children. So we ask them to give some objective, full information. So one thing is making an announcement, but another thing is to make those announcements true. So we brought all the children from the foster houses. We evacuated them back in spring. It's an interesting story that will find its reflection in future. So there are no children there, but those who are adopted in the foster families, the situation is under control in major part, and through the services of children's protection, through the community services, the majority of which keep working in safe areas, we keep track of such situations. There were many loud announcements, but we have to understand that any such statements should be confirmed with the real facts. If we identify such facts, we will make you aware for sure. If we know that 550 people were kidnapped, and that's something we know for sure, and we even know more, but we have again to have the proven objective information. Mr. Oleksandr, another detailization about the children. There is information about the children which were kidnapped in Kherson, that they are kept in Berdyansk. Do you have any confirmation of this information? Yeah, we read this information in Telegram channels, but we don't have any confirmation of this information so far. Thank you very much. Thank you for finding time to join us. I will remind you, friends, we had Oleksandr Starukh with us, the military governor of Zaporizhzhia region. Our next briefing is at 14:30, and we will talk about psychological help to those who suffered due to the warfare. Bear with us. Glory to Ukraine.